Okay, you guys, I am here with the fabulous Lou DeCola. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
Yes, I got it right. So I met Lou at the PA Beauty Expo. Um, and I'm so happy I did because it's always inspiring to meet another beauty pro who's like on the same page, more or less, with you. So, how are you, Lou? Tell
I'm
everybody.
doing great. Great to be here. Just chugging away. It's another day in paradise. So
Yeah. So, where are you exactly? Where can
we
everybody find you?
we are outside of Philadelphia, like King of Prussia area, the suburbs of Philadelphia. Uh,
Nice.
that's where our salon's at, and then that's my only location now. I used to have multiple, now just down to one. So
Okay,
that's
that's okay. Okay, I was very surprised. So just go ahead and tell everybody your origin story. Like, how did you even get in this industry? Who did you work for? Like, how did you get to where you are now?
so I started my career in 1983. Most people weren't alive by then. I went to college for about 6 weeks. I didn't like it. And then I went to work for my cousin as a barber, did an apprenticeship for 2 years. And then his brother was a hairdresser, and I did an apprenticeship under him. So I'm dual licensed. And then I worked for those guys for about 5 years and opened my first salon in 1989.
Wow, I
So it's
love
it's been
that.
a while, and I'm always looking at vision. What's next? How do we keep growing? And that was the only reason that I left my cousins, was because they were set in their ways and weren't really looking for growth, and you know which was fine.
Hmm.
That's okay. But I wanted something more, and I opened up. I'll never forget. It was October 13th, 1989, with just myself, and here I am all these years later with 42 employees, and
I love it.
had multiple locations, and now I'm down to just one location. It's just easier, and I retired from doing hair. Now I just do mentoring and trying to build my team.
That is so cool. Now, okay, you mentioned that you apprenticed for 2 years.
Hmm.
Why 2 years? Because I know a lot of like the cosmetology kids that are coming out, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna make six figures. Yeah, okay. So why
So,
2 years?
well, what I did was I didn't go to beauty school. So I
Hmm.
did a real apprenticeship where my hours were clocked by my cousin. I still
Hmm.
had to take the same test everyone else did in both fields.
Okay.
I had to self-teach myself the book because my cousins didn't, they gave me a book and said, read the book. And then, the practical we learned in the salon. So, I was kind of
Family's great.
yeah, I was kind of self-taught, and, it was interesting, but, it was definitely for me the way to go. And I tell younger teams now that, go to school, get your hours, take the test. If you
Hmm.
can work while you're in beauty school, that's great, because that's where you're going to learn everything. Beauty schools are great. They're going to teach you how to take the test,
Hmm.
but you're going to real life experience what really goes on. You'll learn that in the salon. So if you can do it while you're in school, it just benefits you even more when you get out.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm. So
you know,
what was one of your biggest failures, whether it was personal or professional, and what did you learn from it?
oh man, if you're not successful unless you fail. Um, I've had multiple failures in different industries, and multiple successes in the same industries. The biggest, I guess, I'm not a failure, but it was kind of a bump in the road. I was Probably, it was maybe 20 years ago. I had a salon and I had multiple locations,
Hmm.
and I was having some health issues. So my brother had worked for me, and I was like, okay, listen, why don't you come over and take over? And that ended up not working out very well, and I ended up closing the salons because of addiction. Not my addiction, but my brother went through an
Hmm.
addiction. He's in recovery now, which is great.
Hmm.
Um, but that was hard. I
Yeah.
had a decent sized salon, and letting people go, but I couldn't do it, and I basically sold everything I had, and retired. And then I actually came back. That was 2006, and I got in the restaurant business. I opened 6 restaurants, and then I had a business partner who was a drug addict,
Oh.
and I sold those companies.
I'm like
Needless to
up
say,
and down. I'm like,
ne-
oh,
yeah, yeah. Needless
oh
to say, I don't
no.
like partners.
Oh
Um,
no.
and then I came back in 2014. I went to see, I used to stop in to see one of my old employees. She opened the salon up, and one day I walked in and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm going to probably open a salon again." And she said, "I'm going to nursing school." And I bought her that day. I bought her a four-chair salon. It was
Wow.
2014 in April, and now I have 18 chairs, 40 some employees, and we're grossing out close to $3 million a year. So
That
you
is
know,
so
you got to keep
awesome.
going.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. All right. So I don't know about you, but here in Florida, we're very seasonal, right? And right now, because of July 4th and the summertime, like it is slow time for us right now. So, what would you tell stylists when it comes to endurance and like never giving up and just keep going?
I try to teach I feel like telling my staff almost every day. My young team also is like, when you have a client right now, and you have that one client today, spend time with them. Get to know them, make them feel special, give them the value. That's the most important thing. And everything's a mindset, right? So
Mhm.
you can turn around and say, "Oh my God, all I have is one client today." Or your mindset could be, "You know what? I have one client today. What can I do with that client? What can I learn from them? How can I capitalize on that?" And
Mhm.
that's probably the biggest thing that the, not young talent, but all talent, they get discouraged and like, all I have is one client today. It's slow. It's summertime. What do I do? Oh, so and so is coming in, and you get done that client, you want to go home.
Yeah.
And it's not the mindset to have. It's like, spend time, you never know. You can upsell that client if they're just in for a haircut, a scalp treatment, or talk to them. Do you even know who they are, what they do? They could have family members in town for the holiday. Might want to get a blowout, so
Mhm.
and if your client feels they have a value, they become much more secure client. So that's
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest thing that I tell my staff even today. Like, I could probably bring them into this podcast and they'll probably say, he
Yeah.
says it every time, like, spend time with your client. Don't spend time in the broke room. I call it the broke room, not the break room, in the broke room.
Oh, that's
Don't make any money
great.
in it. And it's so hard, because when they're in the moment, they don't really realize it until after the fact that they start to realize that, what, if I spend time with that client, you're learning something about them, and it just makes their business stronger and our business
Mhm.
stronger.
Mhm.
But that's the piece of advice. Like, spend the time. If you got one client, it's okay. Embrace it.
What do you think's the biggest struggle for beauty and barber pros today?
Uh, so the struggle today is your influencers,
Oh.
Instagram, um, social media is your biggest struggle, because your talent seeing these podcasters or Instagram, influencers that, unfortunately, in reality, they're not any better than you are,
Mhm.
but they have these followers, and they think they're making all this money, but they're really not. Okay, they might do some here and there, but and then your clientele sees Instagram and social media, and they're bringing these pictures in. So that's probably the biggest struggle, is the comparison. Like, don't compare. Be you. Use that as inspiration. And if there
Mhm.
is somebody that you want to emulate, DM them, ask them, "Hey, what are you doing? How are you doing this stuff?" Instead of being, getting caught in that hole. But I think that's probably the biggest struggle, is them comparing themselves to, "Oh, I want to be just like this podcaster." Well, is that
Mhm.
podcaster really or the influencer, are they really that busy? You know, is it their
Right.
only job? And out of, just say, 100 influencers, 3 to 5 are making money.
Right.
And even the ones that are making money are working. They're
Mm.
working at their craft, and it's nonstop. I mean, take yourself for example. You're doing podcasts, and you're building your brand, and you're growing, and you
Mhm.
keep growing. But there's other podcasters that may be making a lot more money, or some that aren't. But when you go down to determination, that's what's going to make you keep being successful. Um,
Yeah.
and not
Oh,
comparing yourself to other people. What you do is what you do.
yeah. Yes, I agree. No, I totally agree. I know quite a few youngsters who they're all about Instagram, but then when you ask them, okay, so who's your favorite like influencer, your hairstylist, like who's your favorite person on IG in the beauty industry? They go, "Oh, I don't know. I don't really follow anybody." What are you talking about? You just told me
Right.
about this person.
They're jealous about that person, but they're not. They don't even know who they are. Right.
Yeah. That's
So that's
crazy. Okay,
yeah.
so then What do you feel has been your biggest success? Now that you've been in the industry for a while, you're teaching people, you're mentoring, coaching. What's your biggest success right now?
Oh, my team actually. I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, that's where I get most of my joy, and it's frustrating sometimes because I consider myself more of a mentor and a leader than a boss,
Oh.
and seeing someone that you're mentoring grow is the greatest reward because the way that my program works here through my salon is we're multi-tiered,
Hmm.
different tier structures. There's no time limit on when someone goes from an assistant to a tier one, two, three, four, five. It's all self-paced and self-motivated. And when your biggest successes are the team members that are growing quicker and they're following the program and you know it's working what you're doing.
Hmm.
So I mean I don't take personal success. My personal success is my team. The better they do,
Yeah.
the better I do.
Yeah.
Um, it sounds kind of cliche, like but it's the truth. That's
Hmm.
I'm no better than anybody that works for me. And if
Yeah.
I can help someone be better, that's what I try to do.
That's
And sometimes they
beautiful.
take advice, sometimes they don't. But it's kind of when someone does take your direction and they succeed, you
Hmm.
know there's nothing more empowering than that.
So what do
And
you do? What do you do with those who don't take your advice, your insight?
um you know it's probably my biggest downfall, but like I will continue to try to help them to a
Yeah.
fault. um but then I'll get to a point where you can't keep coming to me asking me, why am I not getting to the next level, why am I not improving? Well, have you look at your appearance. Are you dressing like a professional? Are you working your clientele? Are you following what's going on? Because again, they want to emulate somebody next to them that's growing, but they don't really emulate them. They're just jealous of them instead of emulating them.
Oh,
Um, it's like I always say, listen, if you like what someone's doing, ask them, what are you doing? How you doing it?
yeah.
That's flattery. That's like that's what you should be doing, not being jealous of them, but find out what they're doing. Um, and it's it's kind of tough sometimes, but like I'm brutally honest with them, and I'll tell them,
Mm.
listen, you're not growing. Here's why. And now we just did a something innovative. But we did an AI class a couple weeks ago, how to use Chat GPT in the salon.
Whoa, that's
So
so cool.
so we just did it, and the same thing too. So like I'm always looking what's next and being a visionary that way.
Hmm.
And there's some team members that are embracing, some are not. And I had a girl come into my office and said, "How do I get to the next level?" I said, "Wow, that's really interesting. Why don't you ask ChatGPT right now? Tell them who you are, what you do, where you are." And I preach all the time. One of my biggest strong points is consultation.
Yeah.
She put it in ChatGPT. How do I improve? Blah 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 blah. And it spit out number one, improve your consultation. So it was the best thing for me because I'm like dad in here, right? Nobody listens
Yeah.
to dad. You're just dad. I'm just the boss, right?
Hmm.
So now all of a
Hmm.
sudden, ChatGPT is telling the same thing. So it's a world of knowledge telling you the same exact thing, how to be successful. So if that person follows that, and I've seen that person actually change their appearance a little bit, change their work ethic a little bit, and I see their book growing a little bit, which is kind of
Wow.
interesting. So that's kind of we you got to keep pushing, just like
Yeah.
determination. Like if I stop mentoring or putting effort into someone, then I'm not doing my job
Hmm.
as a leader. Um,
Yeah.
you know, and what ends up happening is if they don't follow the rules or they follow they end up dropping off by themselves.
Hmm.
It takes care of itself.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
so that's
So with Chat GPT and the AI thing, like how do you see that for the future, like being used beneficially for salon owners and for stylists? Like,
I think it's great. We're gonna like I just introduced it a couple weeks ago, so I'm letting everybody kind of like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
feel it out right now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to really start pushing them a little bit more because we can use it in our industry also with formulations. Like you can turn around no matter what color line you use. You can turn around and say, okay, I don't have a 7 RV. I use Duomo hair color or some obscure color line, but I have this and this. Can you give me a formula? And it will. Again, it will give you the formula, ratios, everything down to the thing, down to the number. And again, you want to cross check and double check because it's not 100% perfect,
Right.
but it will give you the formulation. It will give you that. So that takes pressure off of your education leader a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, also, one of the big things that we all have problems with in our salons is dress code.
Oh,
I don't have a dress code in the salon. I ask them to dress professional, whatever you want to emulate, whatever your style is. I don't care what your style is, perfect it. So, starting next month, I'm going to really come down on my team and be like, you can ask Chat. We did it in the training. We asked Chat GPT, hey, I'm a stylist in a beauty salon. In DeCola Salon in the suburbs of Philadelphia. We're a high-end salon. I don't like to wear black. Can you give me 5 outfits, where to get them, blah, 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 all this stuff there. Talked in Chat GPT. It spit out 5 outfits for them. And then you turned around and said, okay, I don't like this style. I don't like stripes. Can you give me something in blue patterns? And what it did is it gave them stuff in a price point, where to get it, all that information right there. And then what I'm gonna start to do is say, take a picture of yourself before you come to work and say, ask Chat GPT, is this appropriate for me to wear to work today?
oh my
and
God.
and what it will do is, again, it's not me, especially in today's society. I'm a male figure, and
Mhm.
you know I used to tiptoe around what I say, to how you say
Right.
things in
Right.
in the environment that the culture we live in. But now Chat GPT is telling them, no, that's not appropriate, or what do you want to attract? So that's how we're going to start to really use it.
Whoa,
Also,
that's
even
cool.
even in your consultation, or if you have to say you have a client you can't get through to, or is a very standoffish person, excuse yourself from the chair. Hey, I've got Krystine in my chair right now. I can't get through to her about the price change of a single process color to a balayage. She doesn't
Mhm.
understand it. Can you give me some talking points of how I can get this point across? And it will
Mhm.
give you talking points. It's
That
it's
is so
crazy,
incredible. That is
crazy.
so incredible.
You know,
I like deleted it from my phone, but I'm probably going to re-download it because some of the girls would show me how they're using AI on like Instagram and Facebook to write their captions to their posts. And I was like, "Oh my God, what?"
that is correct. That's another thing you can start to do is also use it for that. I mean, it's powerful. It's really powerful, and the more you use it, it gets to know how you like. So I'm not a well-educated book person. I talk differently.
Sure,
So
sure.
AI will also, when I write my emails, if I use it for my emails, will put it in the way that I talk, not big words and stuff like that, which is crazy. So it learns how you are also and what you're doing, and it makes things easier the more you use it. It's pretty incredible.
That is
Pretty
so
incredible.
amazing. Oh my Lord. Okay, all right. So shifting gears a little bit. What is a common myth that you get all the time about what you do?
Oh, the common myth you get is you don't make any money.
Oh,
That's the biggest myth that's out there, that we don't make any money in our industry,
yeah.
and the stereotype of that. And it's interesting because you can make as much money as you want to make. It depends
Hmm.
on, you know, what your perceived value is to someone.
Oh,
And that's
I
something
love
that I'm
that.
starting to talk about with my team too. In your consultation, have a great consultation. They're paying for a look, not for 10 foils. They're not paying for the color. They're paying for a look. And the more educated that you become in what you do in your craft, it's not about how much you use, it's what you do. And if your client perceives a value, there is no price that they'll pay anything because there's a
Mhm.
value there. And I think I just broke it down with one of my girls the other day about like adding one scalp treatment or two scalp treatments a week to your book. It's like $12,000 a year that you can
Hmm.
add to your book that quickly.
Wow.
So so I'm actually having a staff meeting tomorrow, which is interesting because we use we've already always weighed our color, and we use I don't know if but I use Vish as my software,
Sure.
um, and I'm basically going to teach my whole team tomorrow about business, about what it costs in color and over mixing and where that money goes. And that way they understand what money is and what value is, and then how they can emulate to a client of a balayage isn't just about the balayage, it's about product you're using. You need to charge for your product and giving them an understanding on business and then how much more money they can make
Mm.
by pricing themselves correctly when they do a consultation.
Wow, I
And
love
that's
that.
kind of it's just powerful. I mean, people say to me all the time, I want to make 100 grand a year. No problem. I'll teach you tomorrow morning. It's real easy. I can make anyone a six-figure stylist. They're not going to like you can't work 2 days a week and make six figures, when you're
Hmm.
first starting out.
Hmm.
And that's a whole nother different tangent as far as like,
Yeah.
I talk to salon owners and they're frustrated because they can't find employees
Yeah.
and nobody works like we used to work, blah, blah, blah. And I said, shift your mindset. I'd rather have somebody work for me 2 days a week that's pumping it. They're happy to be here and they're done
Yeah.
than somebody working 5 days a week. 2 days they're happy, 3 days they're miserable. Because the
Hmm.
3 days they don't want to be here, the culture of the salon changes.
Yeah.
So, our mindset has to shift as owners, as managers and employers is, you know, what's our workforce like? And I'd rather have somebody that's killing it for 2 days. They're happy. Their mindset's there. Their energy's there.
Yeah.
Their whole environment changes. Uh,
Hmm.
but there's, you know, that's the one thing that I try to teach my staff is you can make as much money as you want. It's open. I don't have any my tier structure, my education, my commission structure. It's an open book here.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what everyone makes because it's there. You can make as much money as I make or as little
Hmm.
money as the first person. Doesn't make a
Yeah.
difference. And
That is
that
so good. That is so good. I'm loving it. I want to come by tomorrow. I want to sit in your meeting.
you know, but that's the big thing is value is perception.
Yeah.
If you go to a chain steakhouse
Hmm.
and they buy the same filet that the high end steakhouse buys.
Oh my God.
Okay, the
Yeah.
high end
Mhm.
steakhouse is getting a 150 for their full 8 ounce filet, and the low end chain one's getting $60. Same steak, perception's different. You walk in, the guy's in a tuxedo, the waiter's very nice, it's elegant.
Yeah.
You're getting dressed up to go there.
Hmm.
Same steak, but you pay double.
Yeah.
you know,
I love that. I love how you framed it that way. I cannot wait to like apply that to my own team. But so okay, obviously owning a salon, coaching them, mentoring them, teaching them, having the staff meetings and all that. It's draining, right? So how do you nourish yourself, leading everybody in this industry?
so mindset. My mindset is positive. I get up every day. It's
Hmm.
crazy because I just went through. I own a couple other companies,
Hmm.
real estate companies that I own. I'm in the middle of a partnership that we're breaking up, and my partners it's a struggle,
Sure. Yeah,
negative
yeah.
in that
Yep.
aspect.
Yep.
But I'm very positive, and it affected me like a couple of days ago. And I get up every day and I say it's the best day ever. I do it every day. And for like two
Yeah.
or 3 days, I didn't say it, and I noticed my whole mentality was different.
Wow.
So being self-aware, which is crazy. Nobody, I mean,
Hmm.
I'm a masculine guy. And I'm telling everybody right now,
Yeah.
be self-aware, realize what you are. And I realized to myself, I was not in my positive mindset. So I reached out to a friend of mine that does Reiki, right? And I mean, I'm like,
Oh my God.
I never knew what the heck Reiki was. Like, you know what? I can't get rid of this negative mind I have right now. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. I just have this, I still feel this negativity. So actually, she came over to my house last night and did a session, and it was the craziest thing ever. I've never experienced anything before in my life. And she's like, "What did you feel?" And I'm like, "Well, I laid there and I said, all of a sudden, I felt like, my eyes were closed and I felt
Uh,
the darkness, darker than I've ever felt before, like I've ever seen in my life. It was like sunken in dark. And then I saw all these colors, and it sounds like some fairy tale fantasy thing, but it's nuts. I said, like, the colors like a peacock and like the blues and the greens and the
yeah.
purples and yellows and oranges. And then when I was telling her this after the fact, she goes, "That was your inner chakra." And I woke up today and didn't have the negativity. It's I don't know, call me crazy, but
No.
it worked.
That is so cool. I love that. Okay, so your cousins, are they still doing hair? Do you,
No,
do you ever
no,
tell
they're
them about this stuff? Do you ever tell them about it?
No, but I mean, like I see my brother is in the business now. He's in the manufacturing end of it, stuff like that
Okay.
too. So we talk here and there, but it's it's life. But like you have to, I'm a big mental health kind of guy. Even
I
with my
love it.
team,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we have to be in that. We have to be in that space.
I
Um,
love that. No, it's so true. It's so true. And whatever works at this point, that's where I'm at. Whatever works effectively and it jives with me, that's what we're doing. So what, I mean, not to be negative, but what
Now, like,
what insult have you ever gotten that you're just so proud of that you got it?
oh, what insult that I'm proud of. Oh, you're a hairdresser? That's like
Oh.
that. So it was again. I mean, people that don't know me that haven't seen me or just hear me,
Hmm.
I'm a 6'5", 200 pound man. And when
He's a
people used to
man, you
say,
guys. He's a
people
man.
used to say,
No.
what do you do for a living? I'm like, I'm a hairdresser. Like, you're a hairdresser? Like it was, nobody believed that's what I did for a living. And when you first started my career, I'll go back there. Everybody's like, you're not gonna make any money. And I make well over six figures,
Uh-huh.
and I've done it a long, long time. And I
Hmm.
want to teach people that it's okay to be a hair. Like the stereotype for our industry, and this is something that I'm trying to really work on with other salon owners and
Hmm.
get our value up. Okay,
Hmm.
we're not just hairdressers. You're a trained professional. Okay, you're a
Yes.
professional license. If you carry yourself like the stereotypical hairdresser, you need to get paid like a stereotypical hairdresser.
Hmm.
I wear a collared shirt to work every day, a pair of a pants, maybe sneakers some days here and there, but I've
Hmm.
always dressed nice, and it's just an image. Um, and if you have that mindset, your pay scale, like it sounds very shallow, but what your appearance is and how you feel about yourself is what you emulate is what you attract.
Yes.
So if you emulate wealth and good people and nice people and that world, that's what's going to come to you.
Yeah.
If you're sitting in the negative mind space, you're going to get negative people coming to you. That's just the way it
Hmm.
is. Um,
Hmm.
but that's probably the biggest, insult that like you're just a hairdresser. Okay. And for a long time, I would be embarrassed about saying, because you're a doctor, he's that, this person works for an IT company. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just a hairdresser, and I make more than you do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's, and
Exactly.
that's kind of the crazy part. And, but that's, you know, I just think that our industry needs to be elevated. Our
Yeah.
pricing structures, one of the biggest um, misconceptions in our pricing is brides. I, I,
Oh,
I, I don't understand, um, why there's no value in the bridal work because the bride will turn around and spend $10,000 for a photographer, but they'll complain about spending $500 for their hair. Like
yes. Drives me
that
nuts.
picture is going to last you forever with your hair, and you're worried about it. Like so,
Yeah.
but I think that comes from our industry being devalued for so long.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
that's kind of like break that stereotype, man.
Yeah.
I got people in here. Listen, you want to charge $700, $800 a client? Go ahead. If your
Hmm.
values there, perceptions there, you can get it. You know,
Yes.
so
Amen. Okay, so because you have been in the industry for so long and you do sometimes make more money than a doctor and a lawyer and all that, what is the lesson that you have learned being in this industry that those so-called professionals should also learn?
I'm not better. You're no better than I am. I'm no better than
Mm-hmm.
you. We're all the same. We're people. I have the
Mm-hmm.
same thing even in the salon today. Like, I just shampooed a girl for a client for one of my stylists who's running behind.
Yeah,
I'm the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company and I'm shampooing somebody or I'll
right.
sweep hair. I don't care. It doesn't make it. I'm no better than
Right.
anyone else. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's probably the biggest thing. If you can live your life that way, you'll have a happy life. You know, um, that's probably the thing that I would probably put out there the most is no one's better than you are.
Yeah.
And you have to be happy with yourself
Mm-hmm.
before you can make anyone help. Like, so people ask all the time, who's the most important person in your life? I'm like, me. I am. Because if
Yeah,
I'm not okay, my kids can't be okay,
that's
my
right.
wife can't be okay, my
Yep.
employees can't be okay. If I'm worrying about all those people first, I'm
Hmm.
last. and then you can't help them. And it's
Yes.
just you know, being self-aware. It sounds cliche, but you got to take care of yourself.
It's
Whatever you want to
powerful.
do, go to the gym. If you want to be grounded, whatever activity you want to do it.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. All right. So what's an area in your life that nobody agrees with you about?
oh, hmm. Let's see. Not much. Not much, really. Yeah, that's a tough question. I don't know.
Okay.
What did that? I do go to the casino, and people don't think you make money at the casino, but you do. You can.
What?
Yes, but it's the same mentality, right?
It's the mindset.
So it's a mindset, right?
Okay.
So it's my form of entertainment.
Sure.
So if you turn around and you put it as my form of entertainment versus your form of entertainment, say you like to go to Broadway. Okay,
Right.
a Broadway show. You go to New York or LA or anywhere for a Broadway show. A good show is $500,000 a ticket. By the time you're done the
Mm.
nighttime, you went and saw a show. Or your vice might be expensive dinners. If
Yeah.
I go to the casino, what's the difference? But it's not it's shun upon more than going out to dinner,
Yeah.
going to a play.
Sure.
Uh,
Sure.
Now, of course, you don't want to. Everyone always tells you about the wins, never about the losers. You can't.
Right.
Nobody always wins because they wouldn't build these big casinos.
Right.
But I enjoy going. My wife goes sometimes, but I go by myself a lot of times because I can be there sometimes for 15 minutes, and if I win or I lose, I leave. But it's like
Right.
my little vice. It's like kind of
That's a good one.
that's
That's a good
you
one.
know
And especially like, yeah, you can make money.
you
And
can't.
you can
It's
though.
it's it's crazy. I was there the other day. I took my son was home from college and working, and we went to the casino, and we were there for about an hour, and I think he made like $350. I made like $800, and we left.
That's
Yeah,
perfect. That is
but
perfect.
and it's just like anything else, though, right?
Right.
If you don't enjoy it, like I'm not going to the casino to make money. It's
Right.
my entertainment. If
Right.
I if I'm going with $100 and I lose $100, I'm not going to cry tomorrow morning I lost $100. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
also not going to take the $100 and go there and say I'm going to win 10 grand. It's just
Yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's in anything too. Like if you go, just say you like to go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be a bodybuilder or are you just going to the gym to work out? Like,
Right.
what do you enjoy? You might go fishing. You like to go, so it's more whatever your kind of vice is. And as long as you do it in moderation and you do it because you like it,
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with anything.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, agreed. All right, so I know that you're a coach and you do coach salon owners and stylists and all of that, and you were teaching some classes at the PA Beauty Show. So, what is it that you have going on right now? Like people listening, people watching this episode, if they want to get in contact with you, how do they do it? Like, go ahead, plug yourself.
Yeah, so, you,
Plug
you
away.
can, you can reach me at, Lou at thecolasalon.com. My Instagram, DM me. I do different types of coaching. Like I'm not about let's look at your P&L and let's do that kind of stuff. I'm more in the mindset of what is your mindset? What is the culture
Mm-hmm.
of your business? Do
Mm-hmm.
not lead from fear. And everyone leaves you.
Oh,
Everyone leaves your company. So they quit, they fire, no matter what. And don't take that as a negative, take it as a positive because you're going to get rid of the dead weight. They left. Somebody might have retired. They left.
mm-hmm.
Somebody grew so much they opened their own salon. They left.
Mm-hmm.
So embrace that. And if you have the culture where that's there, you're going to get the most out of your employees.
Mm-hmm.
And don't fear them. So every one of my employees has my software on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
Every client's in that database. They can make appointments, look at their schedules, change. I don't lead from fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that you become successful. It's
Mm-hmm.
not about me. It's about growing the business.
Mm-hmm.
And we just did what we're doing a scary thing right now. We just developed some software that my wife and I are working on right now. We have it on our website right now. It's called the Beauty Guarantee, and it's in proprietary stuff right now, but
Okay.
about 100% customer satisfaction.
Oh,
And that is a scary, scary thing.
yeah.
But who would not want your customers to be 100% guaranteed?
Yeah.
I want them satisfied. So we have the software. We're actually beta testing it right now. And then once I have that done, then I'll be glad to come on and share the knowledge about,
Yeah.
you know, the analytics of, why people aren't happy or what's going on. Is it a stylist? Is it your front desk? Is it the core? Is it, because we're only as strong as our weakest link,
Mm-hmm.
and it's said
Mm-hmm.
when we first came up, it was like, man, this is scary. But then it's like, why would you not?
Yeah.
Why would you not want to know what's wrong, what's going on? You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but
It's
that's the
that
kind of stuff that we're doing.
yeah. I love that. It's the attitude of again, letting it go, mindset, knowing yourself, like being secure. That's
Be
awesome.
right. So go back to self. Like, be secure with yourself. Like, what kind of business do you run? Listen. I want the constructive criticism.
Mm,
I got listen. I'm not gonna let somebody beat me up. But if there's
right.
something that we're doing that's not right, bring it on. And if you don't want to embrace that,
Mm-hmm.
then I think you better find something else to do, because no matter what business you're in, you want to know where your weak spots are.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can make that weak spot your strong spot and can keep going
Okay.
forward that way.
So here, what about this? What about all of these stylists who are like, no, I gotta fire that client.
Really?
All these client, all these firing clients. Yeah.
So
That's, I don't like, yeah, there's a time and place, but like five, you're gonna fire five clients, right? Because you don't like the way they laugh. Are you kidding me?
right. So what are you firing a client for? Right? Do you
Right.
live their life? Are you that rich and that successful that you can just throw away clients? Not me.
Exactly.
What we do, I mean, like, I get it from my team all the time. Oh, so and so canceled today. Well, are you living so and so's life? Maybe they got in an accident. Maybe they're sick.
Yeah.
Now if you got the habituals that make appointments and never show up, then we
Mm-hmm.
put them on a prepay appointment thing.
Sure.
But not every client goes on that. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
stop being so pretentious, I guess, about that. Like, oh, I'm Lou, and you didn't show up on me. I'm billing you for your client. No, you don't live their lives. And if you have
Yeah.
that mindset, I'm going to go back right now. What you just said, if they're firing clients, their mindset is all screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they're attracting that client.
Ooh,
They're
yes.
attracting that. Okay, it's the same thing too. If you're trying to build any kind of business, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you at, whatever you're doing is you have to emulate what you want. If
Mm-hmm.
even in our business, if I want to do fashion colors, I
Mm-hmm.
can't look like this. I need to have blue in my hair or whatever. If
Right.
I want to do balayage or extensions,
Mm.
I get it all the time. I want to do extensions. Well, you don't have extensions in your hair. How are you going to do extensions? You have to kind of emulate what you want to put out there. You know,
Yeah.
it's if you have a pixie cut and you like to do long balayages, you're probably marketing the wrong way. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, that's very basic, but like they're putting that energy out there and they're attracting that kind of client.
Yes.
And if I don't have, if any of my employees kidding me say I'm firing that client, I said no problem, I'll take them.
Right.
And guess
Exactly.
what? And when you see the bill that I charge them and they pay it, because this
Uh-huh.
happened. Um, I'm involved in every redo that happens in this salon, just for
Absolutely.
the mere fact of I want to know what went wrong where.
Right.
Nothing to do with my team. I'm just involved, whether they do it or not. I'm involved because I want to know what went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And 99% of the time, it's the consultation.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we really work on. So I proved the point, and I did a redo for someone, and I did I redid her color and her highlight and this stuff, all this stuff here. And the client was like, I would love for you to do my hair. I said, well, I'm retired. I do hair maybe one day a month now, just to
Mm-hmm.
help my younger team.
Mm-hmm.
She says, well, I don't care. What would you charge me if you were to do it? And I said, about $800. So, okay, can I book an appointment? And meanwhile, the girl that did it, that charged her 150, was like, what? I'm like, yes,
Yep.
because she felt a value with me, that
Yep.
I stayed the whole appointment, talked to her.
Mm-hmm.
I was hers. Like
Right.
that, and it's perception.
Yeah.
The girl probably does better highlights than I do, but the client liked me better because I gave her the value that she wanted.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to that's what I'm trying to teach these, my team is like, price doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing matters. If there's a value there, it's perception. You can go somewhere and get a bad haircut for $10. You spent too much money. The $10 was too much, or a
Mm-hmm.
bad meal, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. You spend $200 and the meal was great. You loved it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
I love that. I love that. Okay, time is slipping, but let me ask you this one thing now. What is one question that you wish I would have asked that I did not, and how would you have answered?
oh hmm. That's you asked some good questions. I'm pretty. I don't really have, huh? Put me on the spot.
Anything, personal, professional.
How do I balance life and work?
Okay.
Where's the balance? You know,
Okay. Okay.
so it's the same thing. You have to have the balance. Like I'm actually leaving tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm flying out to Portland, Oregon for our salon event.
Nice.
And then from there I'm going to Europe for 3 weeks.
Oh, how
So I'll be going
fun.
for almost a month.
Oh my goodness, how
And
fun.
it's scary, but yet it's not scary because I heard a guy the other day said if you can't take off 2 weeks from work, then you don't have systems correctly. And I just met with my team today saying I'm leaving. You know, it's here's our you guys do everything anyway. Put systems into place and it works. But that was a hard thing to learn.
Yeah.
Is this? I mean, I'm still like in the back of my head, like, oh, but once I get on an airplane, I'll forget about it. I'll enjoy myself.
Yeah.
That's
That's so good.
you gotta take the time because it's the only thing you can't buy.
Yeah.
You
That's so
can't buy
true.
back time. And when I was my son plays ice hockey, plays for University of Alabama now, but he played juniors, and I flew all over the country to watch him play. And people would be like, "You're
Oh,
crazy." I'm like, "Why am I crazy?
that's
That's
your
my son.
kid. Yeah,
It's my kid."
exactly.
And I'm like, you have season tickets to the Flyers or the football games. I got season tickets to my son's thing. I fly wherever. And even
Yeah.
now, like, even with my daughter, she does stuff there, and we fly to see her musicals, and it's just like you never get the time back. And the money, you can always make money.
Yeah.
You can't replace that memory. So that's
That's
my advice to anybody listening. If you got kids or a better half, or you want to do a thing, or there's something you want to do in your life, whatever you want to do, do it because you'll
hmm
never have enough money and it'll never be the right time. So
Ooh,
just do it.
I love that. Oh my goodness, Lou, thank you so much for being on the Beauty Pro podcast.
Uh,
So much value. I am
it,
so excited for everybody to hear.
well, it's my pleasure, man. I'll do another one whenever you want. And then,
Absolutely.
it was a pleasure. And I'm sure I'll see you in, another show and whatever the next show come up.
Yeah, we will. All right, you guys. Lou's information is going to be in the show notes. Make sure you go follow him on Instagram. Reach out to him if you have any questions, especially if you are in the Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye bye.